There we go. All right, there we go. What's up, everybody? Is it working? Is it working? I don't know. Whatever. No. I actually need to do a workout on my screen. Honestly, it's not working. It's not working. But whatever. We got like an hour around tonight. Already started. That's bad. That was crazy. Like 70 PSS. That means anything. Basically means I'll be tired when I'm done, but I won't do it tomorrow. Like 3x20s. All right. There we go. Here's your message. That'd be cool. Figure out if it's got it working. This is mostly just a test screen because I figured it might be an interesting way to hang out. Like I already spent so much time doing these TR workouts. It'd be nice to actually hang out and chat a little bit. So this is a test stream. See if everything's working. I've got a couple of problems. Sorry if I spammed the notifications. Not legal. But yeah, I got about an hour on the docket. Rebecca County sweet spot, just below FTP, which FTP is it's higher than it's tagged right now, so shouldn't be too bad. Site a lot high, a lot high. So should not be a field. Well, fix that. Chat's working. It's working. Now I should do Mike is really rough sounding. Okay, bye. Is that any better? I could turn my fan off, but I shouldn't have to because I've got NVIDIA RTX voice and it works. Cool, way better. Nice, happy to hear that. Sorry about that. Yeah. Basically, like the way my audio system works is like my fan is right down there, my mic is right there. So the mic just gets slammed with wind, but NVIDIA RTX voice cleans that right up. But the mistake that I had was I had the audio set too high on the recorder, which that happens before NVIDIA does its thing, so that's probably the problem. Sounded like I was dropping crazy frames. Yeah, my internet's not that good. I can only stream at like 4 meg, which is pretty low, but that's what I got. So, yeah, now I know. Thanks for helping. Like I said, it's mostly a test stream. I streamed an interview with Kyle Peace a couple days ago. When I was done, I realized I streamed the whole thing at like 640 by 480. I put so much time into getting my I got like a capture system for my Sony A7, and oh, it looks so good on my end, and then I just completely destroyed it when I sent it out to the internet. So, F, but whatever. Now I can actually start my workout. I didn't feel like troubleshooting at 180 BPM. One thing I've noticed, this camera angle makes it look like I'm sitting like so high up, and I'm really not. I'm actually pretty low. Way lower than most people, I think. Yeah, Zach, it is. It's kind of frustrating because, like, this is sort of what I do professionally. Like, I obviously don't stream professionally, but like, photo, video, it's right up my alley. So like, it's not foreign to me, but man, streaming is like, nobody has a really good solution. There's like 5 different apps and they all suck in different ways, and you got to use a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of twine. Like, it just, I don't know. Nobody's got a really great setup. Hey, Kevin. Thank you. I intend to. It was Thanksgiving holiday in the US yesterday, which is traditionally a holiday when people eat too much, and I took part in that, so got a lot of pie in me. Yeah, TR. Yeah, so basically, I don't have a PM on this, no power meter on this bike, so basically, it's a Kickr core connected to my computer by both Bluetooth and ANT. Zwift is set up to basically be non-controllable, and it reads the power, and then TR sends controllable commands. Yeah. I say that as it drops signal. That never happens. No, that's not sarcasm either. I have a pretty stable connection right now. That's funny. Rip. Yeah. And there's only 2 of us because we didn't get together with anyone. So, but we still made the full spread. So, like, I cooked a turkey. We've got pie, stuffing, sweet potatoes, green bean casserole, rutabaga, cranberry sauce, bread, all the carbs. So I have nutrition mix with me, but I have no excuse for it. Thanksgiving's actually not my favorite holiday because I don't usually, I'm not one of the, like, I don't know. A holiday centered around food isn't exactly what I like, but no doubt, there was good stuff. Yeah, 2Ts are good. Like, 2Ts are better than Kickrs, I think. You've got a couple other little perks. I like that you can use them without power. That's neat. The ride feel, I've never used it, but I've heard it's cool. Yeah. Zwift plans are, I mean, they're a lot better than nothing. Like, they're definitely better than just, like, ride your bike around. But, yeah, I think TR is better overall. Just more all-encompassing. Better, like, between low, medium, high, better specificity, I think. But, yeah, TR is good. Yeah, the road feel, that's the one thing I'm a sucker for stuff like that. When I bought my Core, it was in like March, February, right when everybody bought one. And one, I don't even think there were any 2Ts available anywhere, but two, they were like twice the price of the Core, and I just couldn't justify it. I already didn't really want a smart trainer. I actually really like my Kickr Kinetic road machine, but whatever. I needed something quiet. But yeah, no, the 2Ts solid. Really solid. Are you just riding it around, or have you done any of the Zwift plans? Or if you don't know, there's a million, like, anyone who has TrainerRoad has a bunch of free months that they can give out. If you go to the TrainerRoad forum, there's a ton of people who are always giving out codes. Yeah, it was funny when I bought mine in March, February. Like, I thought that was gonna be like the height of things, and then it got worse. Like, all the supply chains fell apart, and then nobody could get one anywhere. Like, I've heard they're still hard to get, which is crazy. By the way, how's the audio? Like, I'm playing music, but I'm pumping it through OBS, so I think you can hear my music, but hopefully the levels are good. Like I said, still figuring it out. Let me turn up my voice a little bit. Testing 1 2 3. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yeah, I bet that's a little better, isn't it? Yeah. 10 Kickrs a year, that honestly, I guess I have no perspective. I feel like it would be way more than that in general, but yeah, they're expensive. Yeah, TR outside workouts are something that I haven't really leveraged. Like, the riding that I've got around here, it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to add structure when you've got stop signs and traffic and all that, right? Like, no, there's no such thing as hogging the chat. It's like you and Zach. That's fine. I'm just here to chat. Gives me something to do. I'm gonna turn my rear fan on. Rear fan's the move. That makes me wonder, Zach, like, that's a fun thought experiment. Like, do they sell more Kickrs in places where cycling's not very big, or in the north, like where I am, where it's kind of cold? Or do you sell them more, say, like Southern California, where cycling's really, really big, but it's also gorgeous out? I don't know. Treating it like they're North Dakota. Yeah, I have family in North Dakota. I imagine there's one Kickr in that entire state. North Dakota's a nice place to visit. That's how I'll put it. This interval is actually not too hard. My heart rate looks high, but I have a really high heart rate. I'm in Seattle, so the stereotype of rain is kind of true. I've actually, like, fun fact, because I used to live there too, Charlotte, North Carolina gets more inches of rain than Seattle. So Seattle doesn't get like a crap ton of like inches of rain, just has a lot of rainy days. It's just like a little wet all the time. Yeah, it doesn't get as nearly as cold as Nebraska. Not here. Like a decade ago, 15 years ago, I bought a car, like a sports car, and I drove it a long way. And I drove it through Nebraska, and I broke down in Council Bluffs. And I had to spend like 3 or 4 days in Council Bluff while I ordered a part that was like that big. Yeah, I like Seattle. It's not perfect. Like, the weather's tough. Like, we only get 4 or 5 months of really outdoor weather. But I like it. Like, I like Seattle a lot. But I also like being outside. Yeah, Council Bluffs was... I don't have anything negative to say about it. It was fine. Knows what TrainerRoad, what are you doing? Be like this.
Think that life amounts to one thing, but when you die, it's one thing that turns your life into nothing. And looking back on the past through the rear defrost, never thought I would last all appear to cross. And knowing that's in the clear, now the fear is lost, cause what's happening here is the beat of heart. So until something's proven, I'm losing.
Dream. That has never happened. Yeah, we did kill TR. TR's gone. Well, I have a high max heart rate. This is just kind of, it always looks like I'm just dying, but this is where I live my life. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say TR's dead. I don't blame TR for that. That's my trainer. So I turned trainer difficulty super low because, and 1 second. Okay, so first off, the Run the Jewels comment. No, that was not Run the Jewels, but great guess. I love Run the Jewels. 2, 3, 4, they're all so good. Yeah, no, RTJ is really good. That was the crest. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, turn trainer difficulty to 0, and that's basically gonna make it feel like, not quite like I'm on erg mode, but thanks, Kev. Not quite like I'm on erg mode, but it's gonna reduce the, the undulation of Zwift, so I can hold power better. So I'm just gonna say until top of the hour, I'm gonna keep it in a recovery interval. Because thank you, TR, it actually kept me at work level for that whole time it was not responsive. So push just 6 more minutes of recovery, 20 minutes at 200-ish, then repeat. Yeah, my max heart rate is, I've seen 195, 196, 170. I look at a bike and I hit 170. 180 is like working, but I'm not dying. There's a kid I watch on YouTube. His name's Tom something. It's like Tom Cycles. I don't know. Anyway, he makes Zwift videos. He's like 12. He's really funny. He's good. His heart rate is like, I don't remember exactly, but it's so high because like kids have like little hamster hearts. He sits over 200, and I'm just like, my God. Yeah, that's the work in progress is all right. Is right. Yeah, I don't know. And heart rate's really individual too. Like, it doesn't mean much. Honestly, this is gonna sound kind of weird. I don't pay much attention to heart rate anymore. Like, power's pretty much what I look at because heart rate is so. Like, there's days you'll feel like shit and your heart rate's at like for me, like 160, which is low, like 165. There's other days I feel great. My heart rate's at like 180. And, like, I don't know. There's just, heart rate's not useless, but power is a better metric, I think. The flip side of that a little bit is heart rate is nice to give you a sense of, like, how you're doing on the day, because there's days you just can't hit power numbers that you can on other days. So, like, your power might be good, but, like, if you feel like garbage, knowing that you're 20% below threshold that's not useful, right? So, they're both useful, like, but, I don't know. Heart rate's one of those things where, like, it's good to look at, but I try not to focus on it too much. I know there's a lot of people who see my heart rate and they're just like, are you dying? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And then you look at like Lionel Sanders, who's dropping like 375 watts, which, I mean, what I should say is he's dropping his threshold. I don't think his threshold's 375, but like he'll be sitting at threshold at like 162, 166 BPM. I've never seen him hit 170. So it's weird. Yeah. my club team in college, there was this guy I rode with. He was a diesel, like that stereotypical diesel. Like, this was before power meters were common. I have no idea what his power was, but if I had to guess, I don't know, 275, 290, 300. Big dude, and like couldn't climb a hill at all, but he was fearless on descents, and he was a train on the flats. Like, he could drop me on the flats. Like, while I was drafting, I would struggle to stay with him. As soon as an incline hit, I'd get him every time, but flat or downhill, he was a monster. I got another minute. I hate it when it's raining outside and raining in Zwift. It's not what I'm paying for. Yeah. I'm dangerous over no distances. I weigh 9 pounds. That's why the only thing I can do is run away. Alright, I'll do some work. Go to 620. See, now I actually have to pay attention to my power, which I like erg mode because I don't have to pay attention. It's like one of the biggest benefits to erg mode, I think. Yeah. Oh, now my power's going too. I don't know. I wonder if it's because I've got all this other tech connected. I don't know. I don't really have dropout problems. This song. Third Eye Blind. I saw Third Eye Blind in concert last year. Really, really, really good. It was Third Eye Blind, Rah Rah Riot, and I think the New Pornographers in reverse order. New Pornographers, Rah Rah Riot, Third Eye. Definitely Rah Rah Riot, Third Eye Blind. Damn good concert. Really, really good. Yeah. So it's this thing, right? Where like strangers get together in a big room and they're all really close to each other and nobody's afraid. It's amazing. Oh, the day they're rip. I wish. I miss concerts. Actually, when I moved to Seattle, story time, one of the bands that I was most excited to see was Death Cab for Cutie, which I love Death Cab, but it's just one of those like small world things. So Ben Gibbard, who's the lead singer of Death Cab, is an ultra runner. He's really good. And then Ben Gibbard knows Brian Morrison, who's really big in the ultra running community, owns a running shop here in Seattle. He's the guy that Ginger Runner, Ethan Newberry, profiled in that video. It's Brian Morrison had a kind of a heartbreak at a finish at Western States. Anyway, so like Ben Gibbard knows Brian Morrison. I have a close connection to somebody who's closely connected to Brian Morrison. Like the whole ultra running community and tri community, and it's cool how everything is so interconnected. Very, very small community. I should turn on 3-second power. He was on for a second. My usual try distance, half and full is the only thing I care about right now. Well, no, let me rephrase that. It's not the only thing I care about, but it's the only thing I'm training for. There's not a lot of tries up in the Pacific Northwest. I would actually I love supporting local races. Like I love local little race companies, sprints, ollies. I like them because like you don't have to change your life to train for them. You show up, you have fun for a little bit, then you go home. You're back to your normal life. And like, they're fun, and they don't cost $500, and everybody's really cool, and then you're done. But I do like the challenge that comes with longer stuff. So I've got, shows how much I Zwift. So I've got 2 halves and a full on the schedule for next year. Got Ironman. Well, I was scheduled for Ironman Coeur d'Alene half, and now I'm doing, because of the changes and shit, Ironman half St. George, and then Ironman Canada full, and then Ironman half Maple Valley in Seattle. But I'm not one of those people who thinks longer is better. I think all races are fun in their own way. You can make a sprint very, 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 very hard. It's just hard in a different way. I will say one thing I'm concerned about is the swimming. I have nowhere to swim. Yeah, Canada's Penticton. Yep. They're bringing it back to Penticton. Because it used to be Penticton, then it went to Victoria, and now it's back to Penticton. So I was signed up for, it would have been like 2 months ago, and that was the the return to Penticton. But then I stopped training, so now I'm trying to get back up to where I was. It's humbling, but whatever. No use comparing yourself to a person that doesn't exist anymore. Awesome. Yeah, I've never been. I vacationed to BC. I love Banff, Alberta. Banff is amazing. I have some friends who live in Vancouver, BC. But I've heard Penticton is like amazing. That's what made me sign up for it. I didn't really even know anything about it. I just heard that it was kind of a whim. I knew I wanted to do a full in 2020, and then they were like, "Oh, we're bringing it back." And I looked into it, and everybody was like, "It's the best race." And I was like, "All right, close enough, works for me." Without talking your ear off, I really want to do Ironman full Coeur d'Alene, but feels like I'm never going to get to do that race. They brought it back, but then it was the deferral. Then it didn't work for my schedule, and just garbage. Yeah, isn't Penticton I don't want to say flat, but mountainous but barren? Is that right? They're mountains, but they're bare mountains, kind of. I don't know if that's right. I may have just embarrassed myself. I've been to BC. I've been to Alberta. I know there's a lot of trees. How many fans do I have? 2. Got one. I have a Lasco blower fan. Right, down there. Then I have that guy. That guy. Behind me. I want to get another one and put it up there, because I have screens in front of me. This fan's good, but with my hands, I don't really hold the bars. I kind of put them in between, and that's how I ride too, and that blocks a lot of the air. Okanagan, dryer. Yeah. Cool. That sounds fun. Oh, power's falling off. Yeah, I'll have to take my wife around to the wineries. That'd be fun. She puts up with me. So I have to make sure the vacations are fun too. Yeah, but as for the fans question, as many fans as you can fit is the right number. Hey, Joni. How should you get an indoor bike trainer? Short answer, yes, I think. I'll let Kevin chime in too, because he just got one. So I like hearing perspectives of people who are, just different perspectives are always good. I think yes. I biked for a decade, actually longer, like 12, 13, 14 years without ever having any kind of bike trainer, without ever doing any sort of structured training. And I kind of plateaued. But getting a trainer, and then the key is getting on a structured training plan. And this applies to cycling, swimming, running, anything. Getting on a structured training plan will blow the doors off of anything you can achieve just by like going out and riding your bike. So the full answer to your question is yes, you should get a trainer, but then you have to get on a structured training plan. I use TrainerRoad. I'm not using it right now, long story. But I use TrainerRoad. I like TrainerRoad overall. If you just get a trainer and just ride your bike, whatever. You can do that outside, and it's not very fun inside, right? But having a schedule, having a structured training plan that pushes your limits, progressively loads you higher and higher, and then deloads you, lets you absorb that fitness, and then reloads you. Very effective, very effective. Aren't I cold when I first start? Well, the fan in front of me, I just turn on. I'm cold for like 30 seconds. The fan behind me, I don't turn on for like 5 minutes. And I have a little remote. But honestly, I've never had a problem with being too cool indoors. I have a window right here that's open. It's like 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside. That's probably like 5°C. And I leave that open the entire time. I never get cold. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you will have no problem unloading it. Like, people would probably almost pay retail just because they want one. Trying to hand out the ride-on. Good job, bro. FTP tests suck. But yeah, you would have no problem selling it. Like, I have a Kickr Kinetic fluid trainer in my closet. I could probably sell that for like 150, 200, but I still use it once in a while. I think Kickr Kinetic fluids are like the best kept secret in cycling. Everybody thinks electronic trainers are way better, and they are in a lot of ways, but Kickrs are still really good, and they're cheap. Like, before everything hit, you could pick up Kickrs on Craigslist for like $110 all day. But yeah, Joni, just to put a bow on that discussion, the real secret is structured training. Trainers are good. They let you do that structured training, and they let you ride your bike in days where you otherwise can't. But if all you do is take your X hours that you do outdoors and bring it indoors, you're not really going to get much faster. The improvement really comes from a training plan that forces you to do things that you kind of don't do on the road. The flip side, though, is an hour on an indoor trainer is more work than an hour outdoors, because stoplights, posting, downhills, traffic, right? Like, it condenses your time into pure work. And I dropped my towel. Got like 5 more minutes on this set. Or rep, I guess, not set. I'll tell you, I kind of like streaming a little bit. I get self-conscious when I video. I know people say like I've had people say like, oh, you seem comfortable, but honestly, I don't love making videos. Back injuries or herniated discs. Yeah. Chat. Anyone with back injuries? I've never done that. I've dislocated my left patella twice. That sucks. Don't recommend. I will say, Enigma, and I'm just speaking on a general level here, as a result of my patellar dislocations, I can tell you, 1, take your physical therapy seriously, like really seriously. Listen to them, do it consistently, like it makes a big difference. And then 2, well, I guess this is kind of the same thing, but like, I don't know, just work hard to not put yourself in situations where you can re-injure. Because re-injuring is shitty. Yeah, Joni, so you do the same speed every time. Tell me if this sounds familiar. A lot of times what beginners will do is they'll go out and they'll just ride, I'm gonna say, as fast as you can for your workout, right? Like if you have a 45-minute ride, you're like, all right, I'm gonna work out hard for 45 minutes. And then one day you're like, all right, that loop took me 43 minutes. One day it takes you 46, one day it takes you 45. But like, you're basically just like going out hard every time. Is that kind of what you're doing? Yeah, bike is super important. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so like if we were to graph your power output, and I know you probably don't have a power meter, but like, let's say your effort level. I bet your effort stays fairly consistent, right? Like 6, 7, 8. Let me hit this recovery interval in 3 minutes, and then I'll answer. Yeah, too much back flexion, Enigma. Yeah. Like, I don't like it when fitters put people in this super aggressive position, because like, what's the point? Like, if you can't hold the position, or if all you can focus on is how much it hurts, you're not going to put real power down. there's always a, that's not black and white, there's gray. Because like in a sprint where you're only riding for a short amount of time, you can deal with more discomfort. But generally speaking, I don't think people should be in discomfort on the bike. One more minute. See, this is the benefit of low trainer difficulty on Zwift. I barely even have to pay attention to that power number. Just hold a consistent cadence and note shift. Almost. I don't have a timer. I only have a minute clock. I grab my towel. Jody, that took way too long on that. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me make sure I get your question right. Hang on. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, so like how to get faster on the bike. If you just go out and do exactly the same ride every day, you're gonna get better. Like if you do any work, you will get better, right? Like that's not a brilliant thought. But generally speaking, if you can find a plan, and like if you want to do TrainerRoad's great, but like even if you can find just a generic text-based plan online that's going to say, hey, go ride for an hour, but instead of just riding for an hour, you're going to do, let's say, repeats of a minute for like about as hard as you can hold for a minute, and then a 5-minute rest, and then a minute really hard, like over and over for your hour, and then maybe next day you're going to do 20 minutes really hard, and then you're going to rest for 5 minutes, and you're going to do 20 minutes really hard. That's going to teach your body, and it's going to give you adaptations that you're not going to get as quickly or effectively just by, like, you know, going for a ride. Because I know you don't know your FTP number, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. Let's pretend it's 10. We're just going to say that your number is 10. If you can hypothetically do 10 for an hour, what you're doing right now is you're probably going riding and you're doing like a 6 or a 7 or an 8, but your power graph is like, it's like this, right? Like it's basically flat. And like I said, that's better than nothing. But that's where I talked earlier about like that's what I did for like a decade, or more. Like I had my routes that I would just go ride, and I'd attack some climbs and crap, whatever, but like fundamentally, they weren't that different, right? It was like, all I did was just go ride my bike. And you will plateau doing that in a way that structure will teach you, will get you over. Yeah, foot numbness. I don't know. I mean, foot numbness for riders who don't have an injury, like, yeah, there's things you can do to overcome foot numbness, like saddle positioning, plate position, how aggressive your front end is, like even your chamois. Actually, I've had that one before, where a really padded chamois was hurting my feet, but all my knowledge goes out the window when you've got a back injury, because that changes everything. Does the majority of my training come from the bike in hours? Yes, but it's not a heavy majority. Let me think about that for a sec. To think about that for a sec. Yeah, I'd say yeah. About when I'm doing Ironman and like I'm actually training, about 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours, 7 to 9 hours a week on the bike. 4 to 7 hours a week running, and for me about 3 hours a week swimming. I should put more time into swimming, but it just comes back to ROI, return on investment, because like I could be a much better swimmer. Like I'm not a great swimmer. There's a lot of improvements that I have to make on the swim, but okay, so let's say I swim for 6 hours a week. What do I say? 5 minutes in an Ironman? 10 minutes? The math just doesn't work. Yeah, generally speaking, I think if you're a beginner, you have to put enough hours into the swim to feel comfortable in the swim. Shit, I only have another minute and I have to work again. Like, if you're a beginner, you have to put time into the swim, because if you can't get through the swim, it doesn't matter, right? Like, the swim is a barrier to entry. If you're too intimidated or you can't get through the swim, the rest of the race doesn't matter. So you have to put in what you have to put in for your swim. And then, in terms of ROI, as a beginner, the bike and the runner, I do give it to the bike, I think, is the more important one. Like, you can lose a lot of time on the bike. A lot of time. You can lose a lot of time on the run too, obviously. But like, if you're doing a sprint, let me spin up here. If you're doing a sprint, the difference between like a 25-minute 5K and a 40-minute 5K, right? That's a lot of training, But the difference between a bike that's like, 40 minutes versus an hour is a little less. And that's 20 minutes versus 15 minutes. So take your numbers, and then like whatever your numbers are, it doesn't matter. Start thinking about like, okay, how much work do I think I have to do to cut that 5K by 10 minutes or to cut that bike by 10 minutes? For most people, the bike's the one that's going to come first. But they're both important. You got to do both. In fact, I can speak to that too. When I was in college and I was on my club cycling team, there was a period of time where I was a pretty decent cyclist. I couldn't run a half mile. I probably couldn't run a quarter mile. So like at a higher level, the fitness translates. Like work I do now on the bike makes me a better runner. But if you never, ever, ever run, you can't just bike. Like Brad Wiggins cannot go run a marathon. It's a different skill set. So I started at 6:25, 45. But yeah, if anyone else has any questions, or I'm not I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I'm happy to chat about it. Gives me something to do. I'm jealous of anyone who can ride outside. FTP right now is about 235, which is about 3.5 watts a kilo, which I'm kind of bummed about. But it used to be it was 260, but then I actually think it was a bit high. My highest tested recently was 260. But I think it was about 275 in actuality. But then March hit and we had more time, yeah, but I lost a lot of motivation. I wouldn't say that I got depressed, but I definitely lost a lot of motivation. And I had about 6 or 7 months of basically no structure. Well, actually, no structure and basically no riding. So really just trying to get back into it. Weight training, detrimental or counterproductive? Not detrimental. This is a long conversation. It's not detrimental. It's good for you. More cyclists should have more strength than we have for a lot of reasons. However, it just comes back down to like ROI, like how you put your time in, because strength training is good. But if you have 5 hours a week, what's better? 5 hours riding a bike or 4 hours on a bike and an hour of strength training? Probably 5 hours on the bike. It's when you start asking questions of like 5 hours on the bike plus an hour of strength, strength's worth it. I personally don't feel like any cyclist needs to worry about bulking up. Like anyone who's ever bodybuilded, that doesn't happen automatically. It doesn't happen easily, right? Like you don't accidentally Arnold, right? Like you're gonna work your ass off to gain 5 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds of muscle. So yeah, strength training is good. It's just, you gotta balance that with, you know, we all have a limited number of hours in a week that we can work. So you gotta balance it out. Super League Triathlon or Ironman? I haven't watched much Super League. I just haven't. So I don't know. I will say this. I support competition. I love local races. I always encourage people as much as they can to sign up for local races, like local sprints. One of my all-time favorite races, it's gone now. They couldn't keep it running, but was just this little race in North Idaho. It was just really well run. Yeah, it is hard to get motivated for something if you don't know when it's coming, right? Like, I tried to just stay fit and focused, but I don't know, just latent stress. I bought a house, and that's really stressful and tiring and hard. And I don't know, we all have a capacity for work, and training was something that could let go. Like, I can't just quit my job, right? I can't quit my relationships, but I can let training slide. So that's what had to weaken. Yeah, Lord, 175 is, like, I'm working, but I'm good. I can chat, I'm fine. 185, you'll get more breathing. 190, I'm working. High reps, low weight, yeah. What's the word? Calisthenics? Have I ever tried training in the mornings? I suck at it. Really, really shitty. I hate it. I'm not a morning person. You'll see me on, anyone who follows me on Zwift or whatever, I do rides at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. If it's not a race or a get together, I don't think I've ridden my bike before 9 a.m. in my life. I don't do it. I hate mornings. Any supplements? Not really. I'm a pretty data-driven person, so if there's not real data to back it up, I kind of don't do it. The ones that I've seen some real data on, when I was doing I've done a couple double marathons, ultras. There's data that says drinking tart cherry juice reduces inflammation and perceived exertion during your exercise, not just after. So it makes it feel like it's not as hard as it is during the event. So tart cherry juice is worth looking into. And then vitamin D for endurance athletes. A lot of people have vitamin D deficiencies. So vitamin D looks like it's probably worth it, but I don't take protein. I don't take anything. Yeah, like, I feel like my life's on easy mode. Like, I don't have any kids, and I feel like it's hard enough for me to find time, but that's just a BS excuse because I'm way luckier than a lot of people. I mean, kids are great. I'm not saying you're not lucky if you have kids. I just mean like I do have a lot of free time. I do have a very understanding spouse. And for me, 9-10 p.m. works out pretty well because she falls asleep early. But yeah, mornings are not for me. I bet. Yeah. I joke that I'm like, man, I struggle to keep houseplants alive. I have it pretty easy. Sorry, Florence. Not today. I know what I'm climbing right now. I have not been paying attention to Zwift. I use Zwift just as a visual distraction. Honestly, it's barely worth it to me. But TrainerRoad by itself is also really boring. Man, that's cool. That's cool. Good way to still interact. Oh, looks like I'll set a little PR. Maybe? No? Nope. Oh, okay. At least I'm consistent. That was like a half second. Garbage. Didn't get to it in time. Oh well, I don't care. Dude, I'd be so tired. I've tried sneaking in like 45-minute rides over lunch now that I'm working from home, but I don't know. It's just not for me. Like, when I'm done here, I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to eat, and I'm going to get myself on the couch, and I'm not going to move until I go to bed. Thanks for hanging out, though, everybody. This is fun. I might do more of this. It really, it helps me out. So, I hope you're having fun. It helps me out a lot. Yeah. there's no way that 5:30 doesn't suck. Like, so I'm like 20th or something. Yeah, I'm a night owl. One of my biggest weaknesses is like a bad sleep schedule, bad recovery. It's way easy for me to stay up. I can stay up so late easily, and then I have such a hard time waking up in the morning, even if I slept a ton. It's really annoying. Triathlon is gear heavy. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed this on my channel, but I'm not anti-gear, but I work hard to not put out an image that you need to spend so much money to do the sport. That's like the opposite of what I want people to think, because I don't know, it's tough because like you need shit. Like you do need things, obviously, but so many people, it seems like they're more focused on buying stuff than racing, and I'm not about that. Like I want triathlon to be something that people are encouraged and see when they think like I could do that, and not get immediately turned off and think, well, if I don't spend $5,000 on a bike, I can't go do a sprint downtown. I hate that attitude. It's defeating. More minutes. Oh. Bye. Sure. Almost done. This is the part of the workout where I just want to stop, but like I don't want to. This is a Felt IE14. It's like 3 years old. It's mostly Ultegra. It's got like a Trimax crank. I bought it used, actually. I didn't buy it new. Got like $2,000 off the price because somebody did like one race, and then guess he didn't want it anymore. I like it. But even then, if I'm completely honest, it just goes back to what I just said. I'd be equally as happy on like a Felt B14. I don't think it makes a huge difference. Not really. Like, I'm not trying to say it's identical, but how about this? If you have two people, one of which who buys a hyper bike, and one of which who buys a cheaper bike, plus a trainer, and TrainerRoad or a coach, I'd want to be person B every time. I do need to oil my chain though. Y'all probably can't hear that because my mic's set up, but she's loud. I think I want to wax it, but I gotta get like an ultrasonic cleaner. Because if your chain isn't perfectly clean, waxing it's a waste. 2 more minutes. Yeah, for sure, Simon. Yeah, for sure. Like, you want a fun game? Go look up the bike that Dave Scott, or any of those guys or women in the Dave Allen, Allen and Scott, Jesus, in the 80s and 90s, like they were putting down 9-hour Ironmans on bikes that some people now would look down on, and I hate that. Like yes, my bike is faster than Alan's bike, but Alan was faster than I'll ever be. Yeah, ultrasonics. I should buy one. Maybe that'll be my Christmas gift to myself. We're cheap too. The reason that I didn't in the past is I lived in a small apartment and didn't have any room for anything. And now I have room. 1 more minute. It is still Black Friday. I don't know how many ultrasonic cleaners are on Black Friday deals though. There's like 12 of us who care about ultrasonic cleaners. One more. We'll do till 1:32:30 in Zwift. Yeah, I didn't really buy anything for Black Friday though. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. You too. I'll sure to do it again. It helped me a ton, honestly. Like, indoor training it's mentally tiring. So, but I'm always down to nerd out about bikes or running. Thanks for chatting. Boom. Digma, thanks for chatting, man. Always happy to. Yeah, I'm gonna cool down for like 5 minutes and then go drink my chocolate milk. Nice, man. Thanks, Joni. I don't know how often I'm gonna do this, and it's not gonna be on a super set schedule because I don't train on a super set schedule. But I mean, I'm on TrainerRoad 3 or 4 days a week, so I won't do one of these every time. Sometimes I just need to be in my own head, but yeah, it's nice chatting. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, for sure, man. That's the only reason I do this. I don't care about being YouTube famous. I just like talking about bikes. Like, I know there's a lot of people on YouTube, not in the triathlon space, just in general, who are like, I want to be a full-time YouTuber. Nope, I don't want to be a full-time YouTuber at all. I just like triathlon. Yeah, that ended up not being too bad though. That was other than TrainerRoad crapping out on me, which it's not really TrainerRoad, it's my trainer. That was cool. But yeah, that was 3x20 of sweet spot. Actually, a little lower than sweet spot because I think my FTP is a bit higher, but I need to do a ramp test. But yeah, that felt fine. Felt easy, which is nice. Chatting really helps. Like, so much of it's just mental. Just gotta get out of your own head. Got this window open. It's still like the amount of heat that your body puts off. I have 2 fans and a window open, and it's like 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It's like 5 Celsius or something. It's still warm. This is Raw Raw Riot. I saw these guys in concert. They're good. Back when you could go to concerts. All right, that's all she wrote for today, I think. Let's see what we got. Looks about right. I don't know why Zwift resets my PRs all the time. Like, this isn't what my best is. It's just like I swear it never sticks. I've got a long way to go to the Tron bike. I should do more routes that have more climbing, but I don't care that much. So it's a glowing bike. I don't really care. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. Really made the time go by quickly. So yeah, if you want to stick around, subscribe and all that crap, and probably see more of these. All right.